Hey everybody, Jeff Kennedy, VP of Sales and Partnerships for LeadingRE with Sean Soderstrom from Corded.io. Sean, what's going on?
Hey, Jeff, thanks so much for having me on.
You bet. Corded is one of our most recent Solutions Group partners. We're super excited to have you. I feel like it's easily best-in-class product in the recruiting space. But usually when I do these videos, I focus on what's best like for the whole industry or for all size brokerages. And today I really want to focus on what we consider smaller brokerages, which for our terms will be 50 agents or less. You're in the field way more than I am talking to brokerages across the country about recruiting and retention. Is there like a common story that you're hearing from brokerages of that size?
There is, absolutely is. And so these are both stories that we see in the data when we analyze the numbers. And it's also just anecdotally meeting with a lot of small brokerage leaders across the country. We hear a very common story in which, let's say you have a team of 50 agents, right? Statistically speaking, over the last 12 months, that team is now down to 40 agents. About 1 in 5 of your agents have kind of walked out the door, sometimes in the middle of the night without saying thank you. Unfortunately, that's kind of a common case. And so, we now have 40 agents to support the same cost base, that we had as a company ahead of time, right? Which was the rent, the staff salaries, everything else. And those 40 agents are all producing at a lower rate than what they were producing in 2021 and in 2022. And so we're finding a lot of tightness in profitability, a lot of austerity measures put in place on the part of the brokerages. And yet I tend to find conversations with brokerages are actually around how do we position our success for growth in the future, right? How do we actually take advantage of the fact that some of the agents who work in my area are less busy and actually go on the offensive? And I think that's a really a kind of exciting mindset for a lot of these small companies who have aspirations to grow.
I think it's interesting is switching from and there's no finger pointing. It's easy to be fear-based in a market where transaction numbers are down and you're losing agents. And if you have 1,000 agents and you lose, 50 or even 100, you're okay. If you have 50 agents and you lose 5, it's a significant punch, right? So fear-based versus opportunity-based, is there a way to actually not just not lose, but an actual way to grow in this market? And when I saw the demo of Corded, that's what came to me initially was, wow, this could be a really great tool, especially for small brokerages, because in general, technology that's out there for the most part is based on scale. And so if you have 50 agents, in general, you're not super attractive to a technology company. It's paid on head count, right? They would rather go to 1,000 agent or a 2,000 or 10,000 agent company. So they get kind of left out by some of the technology, but yours actually, I won't say it works better because you work for large companies as well, but it works just as well, I guess is a better way to put it, for small brokerages. So talk to me a little bit about why it works for small brokerages. And then in the limited time we have left, maybe hit on how Corded.io is different. I mean, there are other providers in the general recruiting space. I don't think there's anyone else that's doing what you're doing. So maybe touch on the difference of what you guys are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in terms of my experience from 2014 to 2017, I led national expansion at Compass. And so it's kind of recruiting nationally for that company and subsequently went to McKinsey to help build out their real estate practice. And, it was my perspective that there was a lot that could have been done with the availability that we have in the space around information, around analytics, and really around identifying the highest value and the most attractive agents for each specific company. And so when we think about, Corded, we're a software platform for all brokerages of all sizes. And I think that's really important for the small companies in the sense that when you have access to a platform like ours, you really get these personalized recommendations that are really specific to that company. And so an example of that would be to understand just in real time, right? Not with a month's delay, who are all the people that have transacted with your agents, right? And even for a small company, there'll be a long list, and that's going to be a specific list for your company. And so the idea is to try to use up-to-date information to understand who might be a good fit for your company, maybe who's had a good experience with folks on your team. And then in terms of the points of differentiation, Now, what we really attempt to do is use data science. Actually, we use a subset of AI, which is called predictive analytics and machine learning algorithms. And what we attempt to do is try to forecast into the future what agents will do. And so the main two things that we attempt to do, and we've been doing this again for several years, is we attempt to showcase to any brokerage leader or sales manager future agent performance, sales volume for the next 12 months, and their likelihood to stay at their company for the next 12 months. And so what you're able to do when you have that information, even as a small company, is to try to find the rising stars, the agents who are going to be the superstars of the future, and find them today and help support their business today. And the beauty of it is you're able to find folks who are overlooked by your competitors, who don't expect the world in terms of split. What I tend to see in the market is that brokerages, even many of the large brokerages, there's an over-recruitment of the top end of the market, an over-recruitment of the top 5 agents in each market, the top 100 agents in each market. We know who they are. They're on the real trends. The thing, though, is when you look down and peel into like individual agent performance, and you look, for example, at agent performance year over year, and this is true for every year in the last 20 years we've looked, and every market around the country, we see that agent performance is highly volatile year over year. And so the whole industry is looking at last year's sales volume numbers and inferring something about next year's sales volume numbers. And what I tend to say when I'm kind of advising some of our brokerage clients is that last year's sales volume tells you one thing for sure: this year's expectation of split, right? And so many folks have just had the best year of their career, and we're expecting that they're going to do that again. Often history doesn't repeat itself. More often than not, history doesn't repeat itself. And so this is the impetus of our platform, to try to help guide folks with these kind of Moneyball and real estate type analytics that attempt to look into the future, so that they can find folks for whom, when they make that phone call and they actually invest in building that relationship with that agent, that they believe that there's going to be a high track record of success that's going to continue into the future. And that's really important.
I love it. All right. So just to recap, if you have 50 agents or less and you're a broker owner and you're interested in using predictive analytics and real-time MLS data to help you with retention of current agents, to know who might leave and who you need to give a little bit of love to let you know who you can recruit at other brokerages, and to let you know who the rising stars are, it would behoove you to spend a couple of minutes with the team at Coordinated. I promise it's not going to be a heavy, deep sell. If it's a fit, awesome. If it's not a fit, that's also awesome. Like, this is not a huge sales pitch. How could they get a hold of you or your team? What's the best way to start the process to take a look and see if it's a fit?
Yeah, absolutely. We spend a lot of time up front with our customers just to make sure that they fully understand how the platform works. And we do a lot of trainings as well once folks kind of sign up with us. But our website is www.courted.io. Or you can email me directly. My email is Sean, SEAN, @courted.io.
Excellent. Hey, Sean, I really appreciate your time today. I think this is a great product, and I look forward to rolling this out to the rest of our members this coming year.
Thanks so much for the opportunity, Jeff.
You bet. Thanks.
Bye.